Good afternoon, Pinecrest. It's April 9th, and this is our weekly update on the coronavirus. I want to wish everybody a happy Passover and happy Easter. We are now concluding our 4th week of extreme social distancing. And what we've noticed is that thankfully in Pinecrest, we've got a pretty high rate of compliance. So the message this week is to keep it up, continue to stay at home, be patient. I think we're gaining on this disease. And every day we continue to do this is probably weeks off of the total duration, and it's going to save dozens, if not hundreds of lives. So what we do this week and in the weeks to come may be the most impactful, but it also may be the most difficult. This working from home, shopping for food and medicine, great hygiene, and when we go out of the house, staying socially distant and wearing a face cover is going to have an absolutely positive impact on how we deal with this disease. We are rigorously enforcing these orders. Our stores are complying well. There's lines. The lines in the stores are appropriately spaced and they're orderly. People are wearing face covers, which the CDC recommends, and we're perpetually inspecting the essential businesses, construction sites, and those places. And those that are not in compliance, we are closing down. But this week presents us with some of our greatest challenges. It's one of the holiest weeks of the year, with Passover and Easter. It's a time when we would traditionally spend in really close contact with our family and friends. But it can't be that way this year. It must be different. It's imperative that we stay at home. Only be with your immediate family. We have to resist the urge to get back to normal. We're doing well, but we are only in the middle of this event. We are not at the end. Tempting but unnecessary visits to friends and family during this Holy Week could undo everything we've sacrificed for. And if we break what we're doing now, we could pay the price in 2 or 3 weeks. Remember, our goal has always been that in the absence of ubiquitous testing, that we stay home, preserve the capacity of the hospital system, so those that need critical care can get the critical care, and that's the way we're going to save lives. So each day, to achieve that goal, we're working closely with the other cities, we're working closely with Miami-Dade County, and we can measure our impact. So while the number of cases that we're seeing, the hospitalizations and the deaths continue to rise, the increase of this is not really exponential right now. And we can measure our successes. There are over 4,000 available hospital beds in a system. About 70% of ICU beds are available. About 80% of ventilators are available. We're tracking system-wide COVID-19 hospital admissions and discharges. 2 new field hospitals are being built, and more tests are available every day. This is really an all-out countywide assault to create and maintain capacity. And because of this unified effort, the most recent models that we have project the eye of this storm to arrive in the 3rd week of April as opposed to early in May. So we continue to adjust our plans on a daily basis. Our orders are strict, we're enforcing them very hard, but ultimately the ability to succeed here comes down to all of us as individuals. We must continue to stay at home. Only shop for the necessities. Go outside and exercise in small groups, and in enclosed spaces, wear face covers if you can. Keep it up, be patient. This is not the time to relax. This is the time to double down, fight harder, and obliterate this disease. The next few weeks, including this one, will be very challenging, but also the most impactful. So please enjoy the holidays at home. We're here if you need anything else. You can call, email anybody on the council. We're always available. We're working very closely with the team to beat this. And I want to turn it over to Vice Mayor McDonald. Do you have anything to say, sir?
Well, I want to concur in what the mayor has said and emphasize to all of our residents that this is a serious event that we're going through. And one thing you can do, all of the people is where you get your information from. And I would suggest, because I was flipping channels last night on TV, listening to the cable networks. And I was quite shocked at one of the networks that, as compared to others, where that network was not even talking about the coronavirus. And I was appalled. So I would say to any of our listeners and our residents, if you only get your news from one source, I suggest that you look at other sources, because the one source that I looked at last night was not giving out accurate information at all. And this is not a political thing. What we're dealing with is not political. It's not Republican. It's not Democrat. It's not Trump. It's not Biden. It's all about our lives and about our society. So I'm just saying to those of you who get all your news from one channel, look at the other channels to get some information about what's going on. Find out what's actually happening in New York City, where people are dying. 4,000 plus people have died. Families are dying. And it can happen here. It can happen here if we don't keep with our social distancing and if we don't act smartly. So that's my advice. Try some channel surfing, folks. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Abbott?
Hello, Pinecrest. I want to say thank you for listening, and I want to say a very happy Passover and Easter week. It's a very difficult time to have these holidays, but it's also an important time for you to really focus on your family, enjoy your immediate family. I've seen some great Zoom Seder events online. And also my mental health tip for the week is it's a really hard time sometimes for people who are alone. You know, we're home with our families, and that can sometimes be a challenge in itself, as you know, but there's a lot of people who are home alone. They just don't have anyone in their house with them, and it's a really good time to reach out to them, whether they are local or they live further away. Give them a call, email them, do a Zoom meeting. It's a really good time to reach out and make some bonds. So thanks, and stay safe, Pinecrest.
Thank you. Councilmember Hochhammer?
First, oops,
You're on.
let me unmute. All right, am I on now?
Yes.
All right, hi Pinecrest, how are you? This is Anna Hochhammer saying happy Easter and happy Passover, and I hope that you're having wonderful experiences with your most close and intimate friends and family. I'm gonna be the one who's a bummer because I guess that's my brand, and that's to tell people that we're getting a lot of reports of really disrespectful public gatherings, birthday parties out in the street, large groups of parades of people driving around together, large groups of parents and children who are clearly not relatives, going out to parks together, riding bikes, and engaging in what is clearly not social distancing. It's frustrating to receive those reports because generally we like to think of ourselves as a very cooperative community. But as time goes on, it's going to be harder and harder for people who are maintaining the social distancing to tolerate those among us who aren't. It's going to create tensions and it's going to create bad feelings. So if you are one of those families or one of those groups of young people that are out and about not engaging in appropriate social distancing, please know that people are noticing and people are upset and people are complaining. We're not under martial law. Nobody can come up and arrest you and drag you away for not doing what's right. But if you think that nobody else is paying attention, you're wrong. Just look at Facebook, look at those social boards, listen to the frustration of your friends and neighbors when they see you do it, and recognize that it's coming from a place of real suffering. We have people in our community who are locked in, who have no idea when they're going to be able to leave their homes because they're older, because they have underlying conditions. We have families who are very, very concerned about possible outcomes for people that they love. And every time you get on your bike with your buddies and friends and go out in a large group, you are telling them that you don't care. You don't care about their loved ones, you don't care about their concerns, and you don't care about their fears. So pay attention because other people are paying attention to you.
Thank you. That's very important. Well said. Manager Galliano?
I'm not the mayor. I'd like to just give an update to residents about what's happening internally as far as our operations are concerned. As most people would have already noticed, I'm sure that all our parks are closed. We do continue to maintain our facilities internally. Obviously, all employees are maintaining social distancing rules. Even though you don't see me with a mask on, we do work here with our masks. For those of us that are in the office, we do have a lot of employees working remotely, but our general operations continue full force. Obviously, you see our police out and about patrolling. We are also doing a lot of code enforcement activity and inspector activity with regards to the construction sites that are still ongoing. We have over 2,000 open permits for construction in the village. And so we're constantly visiting those sites and trying to enforce the social distancing rules there, as well as in our commercial districts. Just want to caution everyone, again, a lot of the information provided to the public regarding masks are guidelines. We urge strongly that if you are going to be going to the grocery store or the pharmacy, that you wear masks and that you continue to use social distancing. Sometimes over the weekends, we've seen a lot of people at Publix or Milam's or even at the Home Depot. We just want to make sure that everyone understands that you have to play a role in also helping keep social distancing. If you're being held outside to make lines before you can come in, one of the orders that I was provided was that the occupancy rate for some of these businesses can be dropped down as low as 50%. So then they're queuing people outside the stores, and we're just asking people to remember that even when you're queuing, you should be maintaining at least 6 feet apart, and obviously always, hopefully, with a mask. It doesn't have to be an N95 mask. It could be homemade. There's all kinds of interesting YouTube videos on how to do those. So I completely urge everyone in the community to try to practice that way and live that way. It's our new normal for the time being. And thank you.
Thank you all. We know this is hard. This is going to be a tough week with the holidays and going forward, but we're doing a good job and we're going to keep it up. So if there's anything you need from the Village of Pinecrest, feel free to call or email any one of us. We're here for you, and we'll continue to be through the duration of this event. Thank you.